Welcome to the DARMHA Interface Training. My name is Jennifer Olahai. I'm the Business Analyst with Rowing IT Solutions, and we are pleased to present to you today the new DARMHA interface. This is going to be a piece enhanced in Tobi that is going to allow our system to talk to the DARMHA system and pull over the CANs information. So let's get started. This is the process that we will use in the system, and most of this is behind the scenes. So as the user, you will there'll be a new button in the system that says request CANs. So you will hit that button to request the information, and when you do that, the Tobi will gather information regarding your participant and send it to DARMHA. DARMHA will validate that information for the participant and look for matches. If a matching participant is found, DARMHA will then send a list of CANs assessments that were completed within the last 90 days to Tobi. You as a Tobi user will select the CANs that you want to use, and then Tobi will populate that information into the eligibility review or the MDS queue if you are a wraparound facilitator. So like I said, Tobi does send data from its system to DARMHA. It sends 3 fields, which are the participant RID, the date of birth, and the last name. DARMHA uses 2 of those fields to find matching participants. The main criteria search is on the RID and the date of birth. If there are participants that do not have a RID in Tobi, then DARMHA will match on the date of birth and the participant last name. So as always, especially with the DARMHA interface, it's extra important that you are cautious about the information and you're verifying that it is correct on that demographics page in Tobi. So if there are matched participants, DARMHA will send a list of CANs assessments that were completed within the last 90 days. So if a CANs assessment was completed 95 days ago, it's not going to be sent over into Tobi. It's only those that were completed within the last 90 days. So let's take a look at how this works in Tobi. So when you find your participant, you open their participant record. So we'll see here for this participant, Wednesday Adams, we have the last name. We also have the date of birth and a RID in place. So that's all good. Making sure that those are correct, verifying those with the participant and or their family. We go to the eligibility review and we create a new review. So like I said, for our assessors, through child advocates, you guys will be using this for your initials, and then for your wraparound facilitator agencies, you'll be using this with the annual type. So for any type of eligibility review, the CANs assessment, the CANs request is going to be in place. So we're going to choose initial here, and then we will save. So when we save, we see the record is created because now we have a name for our eligibility review. And we also see now we have a new request CANs button in the top command line. So you as a user will complete the information here on the general tab, just as you currently do. And then when you move to the CANs information tab, you see there are a lot more fields on this tab, and they're all locked as indicated by the little lock here on the left side of the field name. So what we need to do is we need to request CANs information. So we hit that request CANs. When we do that, it sends information from Tobi to DARMHA, and then it pulls back any results that were found. So in this case, we see we have found 3 CANs records. So this is our CANs grid. This information includes the last 4 of the Social Security number, the RID, the CANs date, the assessor who completed the CANs, the provider that's linked to that assessor. And then you can hover over the name, or you can slide the column over to see what the name is. And this one is the DCS project score and the CANs score. So we have the 3 records here. And then what we need to do is we need to be able to view those records. So we select one that we want to view by clicking to the left of the last 4 of the SOCH. And in the top right corner, there's an option to open assessment. So depending on the size of your screen, if you do not see the words open assessment, there are the 3 little ellipses here, and you can click that and you'll drop down and your open assessment will be in there. So I'm going to open this assessment. And when we do that, it pulls and gives us all the details of the cans. So we have the DARMHA ID, the episode ID, as well as the cans ID. It shows us the last name and the first name of the participant, the link to this cans, as well as their date of birth, the date of the cans, the RID, the last 4 of the SOC. It shows us the type of cans, the assessor, the provider that's associated with that assessor, and then the CANS score and description, the DCS project score and description, developmental intellectual score and description, as well as the days since last assessment. So days since last assessment is a calculated field. This system will take the date that we sent the request and compare it to the date of the CANS, which then at the bottom will give us the days since the last assessment. So we have all this information in here. Excuse me. Our options from the screen are to import the cans or return to the list. So if we return to the list, it simply just closes that window where you can go to your next cans to review it, open the assessment, and then review the same data. So if you are a assessor working for child advocates, you're going to be extra cautious here to make sure that you have the one, it is for the correct last name, first name, that's got the correct date of birth. You're checking all these fields to make sure that you are importing the correct cans. For our RAP facilitators, most of you will be completing your own cans. So you're going to be looking for the cans that you completed, and you'll know that that's the one that you have for your participants. So if we have the one we want here, we will choose import. It's going to ask us a question, are you sure that this is the assessment you want to copy? So we're going to say okay. And then it's going to tell us when that process is successful. So again, we'll click OK. And in the top right corner, we can close out our CANS grid. And when we return to the CANS information tab, we will see all that information has now pulled over into our eligibility review. We notice here that we picked the CANS with the score of 2, and that's not the one we wanted to choose. So you can repeat the process of requesting your CANS just simply by requesting the CANS. It'll pull the information over. We can pay closer attention now, and we can say, okay, if I'm scrolling over, I know that I want to look at this one with the CANS score of 6. So I'm going to grab this bottom one, and I'm going to open it. And again, always just verify to make sure that it's what we want, and then you can import it. So you can repeat that process as many times as needed up until the eligibility review has been approved. So once that eligibility review has been approved, you will have to submit a help desk ticket to request it be unlocked so that you can change the CANS. But yeah, so there's my CANS with the CANS score of 6, so we know that that is now in the system and it's ready to proceed. So we will save and close that. And we'll take a look now at a different example. We're going to look at participant 3549. So for this participant, we can see, again, we have the last name, first name, we have a date of birth, we have a RID. Okay, fantastic. We'll go to our eligibility review, and we'll create a new one. In that new eligibility review, we'll select our type. So it's the exact same process for initials or annuals. It's just a matter of what you're working on and who is working on it. Then we go to our cans information tab. We see our locked fields. We hit request cans. Oh, we get the record that says no consumer record found matching the criteria. So this means that taking those fields that we sent, that RID and that date of birth, there was no match. So if you come into that situation, what you can do is go back, always go back and make sure that on your general tab that you have captured the information correctly. Verify the spelling of the last name, verify that date of birth, and verify that RID. But keeping in mind, this mostly is for the child advocates users. Keeping in mind, there are some times when the RID could be incorrect on the DARMHA side. The data mismatch could be on their end. But if you are sure that there was a CANS completed, what you can do is you can grab this RID and write it down, take note of it somewhere, and then save the record. So now once there is no RID in the system, now when we go to request our CANS, it's going to request and try to match on the last name and the date of birth. So we'll go back to our eligibility review and back to the one that we just created. And on CANS information tab, and we request that CANS. Now there's a match. So see, in the DARMHA system, they're not reporting any RID, so that's how we got the match. So especially in cases where you're not matching on a RID, there's no RID in the system, you're going to want to be extra careful here that you have selected the correct participant to pull over into your record. So this is our participant, Adam Smith. We're going to go ahead and import this CANS. So yes, it was successful. We will close it out. Verify that it's here. Verify that it is the correct one that we want to use. And once we have done that, then we can continue, finish the rest of the eligibility review, and submit that to DMHA for review. But in cases where you have changed or taken out that RID, always go right back in and put it back on the general tab. That when the participant goes on to service, missing a RID could cause issues with eligibility. It could cause issues with billing. So always, if you take that out, make sure you go back and put that back into the system. Okay. So I will also take a minute and show you another example. We're going to look at participant 992. Oops. And Michael Woods. So we see here for Mr. Woods, we have first name, last name, date of birth. We don't have a RID. So let's go into that eligibility review. We will open it up. I've already got this one started. Go to that CANS information tab. We'll go to request the CANS. And we get a window with the grid, but the grid is blank. So what this means is that when we sent that information to DARMHA, DARMHA did find somebody with that same last name and that same date of birth, but there were no assessments completed within 90 days. So if you get the grid that is blank, that just means there are no assessments in the system to be utilized for this eligibility review. So again, the good thing on this is for all of you is that you will no longer have to attach that paper CANS, so that will save you a little bit of time. For the wraparound facilitators only, we know that there is on the MDSQ, the 6-month MDSQ, there is also a place for CANS. So that, I'm just going to show you that real quick here with a different participant, participant 55. Oh, no. 5538. We're going to show you one more example on the eligibility review. And this is just, again, to show you when there's not a participant. So if we look at Grouchy Smurf here, and we're going to complete an initial, and we save the record. When we save the record, Then we get that request cans button at the top, and we will choose that. And there's no consumer record found. So again, so that's telling me that this particular participant, Grouchy Smurf, is not in the DARMHA system. So that means that there's a data mismatch somewhere. If you're sure there's a cans in there, then it could be on the DARMHA end, or you just need to get in there and get that cans put in the system, and then you can repeat this process. So putting the cans in the system, in the DARMHA system, and then pulling it over, there's not a very long, just a few minutes of time where it will then be registered once the cans is completed. So. Okay, so we'll go back now. I'll just show you real quick here what it looks like on the MDSQ. So we will take a look at 4210. And we'll go into this MDSQ. So on this record, you'll create a new, this is again for wraparound facilitators only, until you choose that record type. So if we're choosing an entry level type and we put that through date in, when we hit save, nothing changed, you know, everything at the top is the same. If it is a termination type and we hit save, nothing changes at the top. So it's only on those 6-month types when we save that and the 6-month becomes part of the name, then we have the request cans button, because on the question type for 6 months, we have the same information for the eligibility review. So this is just a mirror process. It works the exact same, and we request the cans. It's going to pull up and see if any were completed within 90 days. This one was, so we're going to grab it, open the assessment, pick the one we want, which this one there's only one, so we just import it into our list. Yes, we want to copy the assessment, and it was successful. So you're always looking for that successful message at the end, and then when we close that out and return to the appropriate tab, we see that the cans information has been imported. So that concludes our demonstration in Tobi, and just a few helpful reminders here. If there's not a participant found in DARMHA, obviously the first step you want to do is verify that the RID, date of birth, and last name are correct in our Tobi system. So verifying that information, and then you send it, and you're still not getting a return. If you need to, you can take that RID out. Make sure to jot that down on a piece of paper or somewhere so that you can put it back in the system after you make the call to the DARMHA system. But again, when you take that RID out, make sure you're using extra caution, because you want to make sure that you're selecting the cans for the accurate participant match. So check that name, check those last 4 of the SOCH, and make sure that you are putting and grabbing the correct cans. So once the ER, or if it's a 6-month MDSQ, once you have those in submitted status and you realize that you have selected the wrong cans, you'll have to open a help desk ticket to request that be unsubmitted, so that you can make that change, and then you can resubmit it. So the help desk cannot assist with any data mismatches. So, you know, if you're going through the process and you're just getting no records, that's not anything that we can help with. You'll have to work that out between the DARMHA system and figure out where the information is incorrect. But what we can help you with is at the help desk, if you have any issues viewing the cans or importing the cans, if you get any error messages, other than that one that I showed you about a participant mismatch, then you're going to want to let us know so that they can, help desk team can take a look at that and get you the assistance that you need. And again, also, if you need to unsubmit that eligibility review or MDSQ to put on a different cans, that would require a ticket to the help desk as well. So that concludes our training session today regarding the DARMHA interface, and I hope you have a great day.